Welcome to the Alcohol Reset, the podcast that helps you reset your habits, health, and relationship with alcohol without judgment or extremes. If you're looking to cut back, take a break, or just understand how drinking can affect your body and mind, you're in the right place. Each episode brings you science-backed insights on neuroscience, nutrition, and habit change to help you feel better, sleep deeper, and take control on your terms. I'm Mike Hardenbrook, best-selling author, neuroscience enthusiast, and habit change expert. I've helped thousands through my book and podcast to rethink their drinking, and now I'm here to help you do the same. Let's get started. Have you ever woken up after a night out and someone starts telling you something you said, and your first reaction is, "Wait, no, I didn't," and they insist. They're like, "No, you definitely did." And now you're stuck in this weird moment where you don't know if they're wrong or if you are. Or maybe you're lying there the next morning, staring at the ceiling, and your memory of the night feels off. Not completely gone, but not clear either. It feels smoothed over, like certain parts are missing, but somehow it still feels like a full story. Almost like something quietly edited it while you were asleep. I'm Mike Hardenbrook, founder of Cloud9 and author of No Willpower Required. And today, we're unpacking something that's honestly a little unsettling. What actually happens to your memory when you drink? Because the real question isn't, did you forget what happened? The real question is, did your brain rewrite it? Most people imagine alcohol like an eraser, like a whiteboard getting wiped clean. You lose pieces, and that's it. But that's not what's happening. Alcohol doesn't erase memory. It corrupts it. And more importantly, your brain fills in the missing pieces. To understand this, you have to start with one idea. Your brain is not a recording device. It doesn't capture reality like a camera. It builds a version of it. It constructs a story. And that story is never perfect, even when you're sober. Now let's go to what's happening in your brain during the night. For a memory to form, your brain has to encode it. That means taking what's happening right now and converting it into something stable enough to store. And that process relies heavily on a neurotransmitter called glutamate. Glutamate is what allows neurons to fire and connect, and those connections are what memory actually is. But alcohol interferes directly with this process. It blocks glutamate receptors, so the signal gets weaker, unstable, inconsistent. So while you're at the bar, talking, laughing, moving through the night, your brain is technically still recording, but the quality is bad. Think of it like trying to stream a movie on terrible Wi-Fi. The video doesn't stop completely, but it drops frames, it freezes, it skips entire moments. Some scenes come through clearly, others don't load at all. And what gets saved is incomplete, fragmented, out of order. So instead of one continuous memory, you end up with pieces. A face, a sound, a moment of laughter, but no clear timeline connecting them. And this is what people call blackouts or brownouts, but they're not empty gaps, they're broken recordings. And that creates a problem, because when you wake up, your brain doesn't tolerate missing pieces. It hates gaps in reality, so it fills them, not randomly, but intelligently. It uses logic, it uses past experience, it uses what usually happens on nights like that. It uses what people tell you, and sometimes it just uses what simply feels likely. This process is called confabulation. And here's the part that really matters. Your brain doesn't tell you it's guessing. It presents the final version as if it really happened, as if it actually happened that way. It's like aggressive autocorrect. You type something messy, and your phone replaces it with a full sentence, and when you read it back, it feels like that's what you meant to say. That's exactly what your brain is doing. It's taking fragments, filling in the gaps, and presenting the result as reality. Now here's where it gets even more intense. Because your brain doesn't just fill in the gaps randomly. It uses your current emotional state to decide what the story should be. So how you feel the next morning directly shapes how you remember the night. Let's say you wake up anxious, that tight feeling in your chest, that sense of dread people call hangxiety. That's not just psychological. That's chemical. Alcohol increases GABA while you're drinking, which calms your system. But your brain compensates. It increases glutamate in the background. So when the alcohol wears off, you're left with low calm, high stimulation, and elevated stress hormones. Your nervous system is overactive, and your brain tries to explain it. It looks at the fragmented memories and says, I feel anxious, so something bad must have happened. So it reconstructs the story with a negative bias. A neutral conversation becomes embarrassing. A small moment becomes a big mistake. Something forgettable becomes something you obsess over. Now flip it. If you wake up feeling fine, or even slightly good, your brain smooths everything out. That same night gets reconstructed as fun, easy, positive. So the memory isn't fixed, it's flexible, and it changes depending on your state. But here's the part most people never hear. Every time you remember the night, you rewrite it. This is called reconsolidation. When you recall a memory, it becomes unstable again. Your brain edits it, then saves it again. So every time you talk about the night, every time your friends add details, every time you replay it in your head, you're modifying it. And eventually, the version you remember is not the original. It's the edited version, a blend of real fragments, emotional bias, and outside influence. Now, layer in the physical side, because this isn't just psychological. Your brain is doing all of this while depleted. Alcohol drains key resources your brain needs to function. Vitamin B1, for example, is critical for brain energy. Without it, your brain struggles to generate ATP, which is what powers neural activity. That's why you feel foggy, slow, unclear. Then there's oxidative stress. Alcohol creates toxic byproducts. Your body uses glutathione to clear them, but alcohol depletes that too, which leaves your brain under more strain while it's trying to reconstruct reality. And this is exactly why support matters, not to fix memory, but to support the system behind it. This is where formulas like Daily Restore come in. They include things like B1 and NAC, which help support brain energy and recovery pathways, not as a shortcut, and definitely not as a way to recover lost memories, but to help your system return to baseline faster. Because when your brain is better supported, it processes more clearly, it stabilizes faster, and you're less likely to get stuck in that loop of distorted recall and anxiety. So when you zoom out, this whole experience becomes a lot clearer. Alcohol doesn't just make you forget, it disrupts encoding. Then your brain fills in the gaps, then your emotions rewrite the tone, then recall rewrites it again, and what you're left with is a story, not a recording. And maybe the most interesting part of all this is that this process isn't unique to alcohol. Alcohol just exposes it. Your brain is always doing this. Every memory you have is a reconstruction. So here's something to think about. If your brain can rewrite something as recent as last night, how much of your past is actually just a story you've been telling yourself? I'm Mike Hardenbrook. Thanks for being here. I'll catch you in the next session. Take care of yourself. That's a wrap for today's episode. If you got something out of this, do me a quick favor, leave a rating and review on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. It helps keep the show going and would mean the world to me. Got ideas, comments, or questions? Shoot me an email at mike@trycloud9.com. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're looking for extra support, check out Cloud9, makers of Daily Restore, a once-a-day supplement to support your body from alcohol's effects, and Rise and Unwind AM/PM, a 24-hour combo to curb cravings, balance mood, and improve sleep when taking a break. Go to trycloud9.com and use the code PODCAST to save 15% on your next order. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.